guys, we're coming up on Father's Day. And so what we're actually going to do today, instead of celebrating fathers, which I feel like we get a lot of, we're going to talk about the people that made us fathers. And we're going to tell some of our favorite stories about some of our favorite people, and that's our wives. I'll lead in, and I'm happy to start this out on a note of like deep, unfathomable, unmeasurable gratitude to my wife for carrying a cognitive load that I don't think I'm capable of, that I've tried and am just amazed by her ability to understand what needs to be thought about in ways that, again, I'm so blown away by. Honestly, I think she makes Claude jealous with her ability to remember what needs to get done, to schedule it. And I think sometimes I feel like I'm playing catch up from so far back that I can't even really help as much as I want to. But she's just so good at knowing what needs to be done, thinking about how that will affect people, doctor's appointments, dentist appointments, everything. I'm so grateful for it, and I'm so blown away by it every single time I get to see that beautiful, brilliant mind of hers.
My wife finally made a shared calendar and a shared note because she got so tired of telling me over and over again, here's what time I'm going to pick him up from school. Here's what time we're going to the doctor's appointment. Here's what we need to do here. And I think women are so good at this in general, of just being able to carry the mental load for the family and know exactly what the children need and when, know exactly what the whole family needs and when, between, scheduling all of their activities and the meals and everything else going on. It's so impressive. And I think they don't get enough love for that. And so let's shout out all of our wives and all of women around the world for taking on the mental load of the family.
100%. And like, Kelly is a pediatrician. She's got a job. Chloe works with you, carrying a lot of the load. Jen works. So it's not like it's just like this is all they do. Like, and the fact that you guys are both saying they carry the mental load, you guys run circles around me in efficiency. Like I could like the Jen carries so much, especially with Lucas too. So she knows every provider's name, every therapist. She practically could be an insurance adjuster. Wow. Because of all the stuff, all the claims we have to kind of resubmit and appeal. So it's like, I'm getting way better. I was not good at it before, but getting way better at trying to carry the load. But it amazes me how much she carries and still makes time to be a great mom, let alone kind of maestro of the machine.
And I really like this topic because I think it's so relevant for everyone. I want to be better at helping take some of that mental load off of Chloe. What are some things that you guys do that have been helpful in that regard?
I'll kick it off. It's the simple things. I think it's understanding Jen's values, like what's important to her. Like something as simple as finding a spot on the street for our car. You would think I just made her like the most delicious dinner. I kid around. Like I think it kind of turns her on. Because it's just, she wants to know, like if she comes home, sometimes she comes home late for work, and we only have one place, one spot for the car, and so if my car is there, she's got to find a spot on the street. So just something as simple as finding street parking so she can park there means a ton. If she comes home, like making sure that the next day that the snacks are in Jack's bag for school, that Lukey's bag's packed for school, like these little things that she does every day, that she does in her sleep, me just remembering to do is great. What's really helped me is AI.
Oh, yeah.
Combining Claude with Lindy and getting these reminders, like that stuff's just helped me kind of go, what can I take off her plate? It's been super helpful. I know there's more to do, but I think knowing that you got to help out is the start for me.
For me, I mean, AI is almost always going to be part of the answer for almost anything we talk about these days. And I think that this is perhaps the most poignant example of systems setting you free. Between shared calendars, shared notes, the ability for us to just access the same information it has removed a cognitive load for both of us, but especially for Kelly, I think. But this brings up an interesting topic, and it's invisible work. It is the 1,000 tasks of picking up the socks, of thinking about just getting the hand soap refilled by the sink. The things that we just don't realize sometimes are seen. And pausing for a moment to recognize this is a very gendered conversation right now. We're talking, in our experience, we are married to women, so we're talking about our wives. But I think it's probably true in most partnerships, even in same-sex or queer relationships. Like, you're going to find that somebody is taking on a mental load because it's almost impossible for both people to find everything is important. That brings me to how the small amount of progress I've made in this space, because this is a never-ending meditation. This is like being somebody who is courteous and considerate of that person who's taking the bigger load. The way that I've found success there is not asking, what can I do to help? Because interestingly enough, that's actually pretty terrible. Because it's like, hey, you notice how you're already overburdened? Why don't you go ahead and like think about all that stuff and then tell me the things I should probably already know to do?
And then I'm probably going to forget and then ask you again.
Yeah, if you could just go ahead and email those to me, like, oh boy. But wait, I thought I was helping.
Sorry, right along those lines too, it's all of those questions. It's not what can I do to help? It's what do you want for dinner? What do you think about it? It's like a lot of times we should know our spouses well enough to just know. Like, obviously there's going to be certain situations where they want something different, but just do it. That's what I've realized is like, just do it. And then they'll be very thankful.
It's funny because since Beast Games, a weird shift for me was there's a ton of little favors. Hey, can you do this for my nephew? Can you do this? Or would you be okay to do that? And of course I want to do it, but it all adds up to a lot of stuff. When you carry the mental load of everything, like making sure the socks are the right side in before you put them in the washing machine, plus preparing for tomorrow's snacks, like this is a lot of stuff every day that they or we have to do. In my case, my wife carries so much of this. So just to your point, just doing a little bit of it makes that big thing that she does every day a little bit smaller and just allows for some free time. And ultimately, if we're honest with ourselves, we're the primary beneficiary of taking off the mental load because they get to be more present. They get to spend more time with us.
I think a trick, maybe a hack that, and these are small things, right? These are not revolutionary. Like, oh my gosh, I'm such a great husband because I do these things. But you know that feeling when somebody cancels plans at the last minute and you're like, yes. Oh no.
Go to sleep earlier.
Yeah, you can't make it out.
Oh man.
Oh no, you tested positive for COVID. Oh no. Actually, I hope they're okay. But for whatever reason, last minute plans canceling, that's a feeling that I think happens when you pack the lunch and it wasn't your turn, or you just do the dishes or fold the laundry, or we're really dwelling on like the most domestic things, but stuff that wasn't like assigned to us can be, it's so much mileage there.
Right.
Yeah. It's, I hear you. It's with Jen, it's the simple things. It's just me being thoughtful, kind of going, oh, you actually thought about the things that you could do to help. And it's neat when it's even just reciprocated. Like, again, we've been married, we're going on, this is 12 years. And it's neat when I come home from a long night or vice versa, and there's toothpaste on the toothbrush and, pajamas are out. Like those little things. And like, I'm trying to teach Jack to do that for Jen, because there's times where Jen works late and, hey, can you get mom's pajamas out? Can you put and he gets to see what it's like to be thoughtful for someone without being asked. And these little things mean so, like I'm just telling you, when I come home late, I look in the bathroom, I see it there. I'm like, oh, thank you. It just means a lot.
Yeah, and to kind of wrap this up, I think my hack for improving and taking off of the mental load is something I'm trying to improve on every day, is start the day off by serving your spouse. Because that sets the mood for the rest of the day, right? So something I try and do is wake up first every single day. So I set my alarm first, and then, like John said, something little. So something I've been doing is packing the kids' lunches every single day first, and then making sure, getting their clothes out, getting their shoes ready, making sure they're 100% ready to go to school by the time Chloe wakes up.
That's cool.
And then making sure the dishwasher's unloaded. Like little things like that make such a big difference in a relationship, because it goes from waking up super stressed and overwhelmed if you have to do all that to, oh, wow, like this is all done. Thank you so much.
And I mean, so John, I'm sure you've researched this. I'm putting you on the spot here. Like, why do you think, is it just, you think it's biological for them to just make sure that women, mothers need to like have everything kind of taken care of?
Well, there's certainly those out there that might posit that as the person who is gestating the baby, there's unbelievable physiological hormonal changes that happen to a woman as she is pregnant. Sense of smell, fear of danger, perception. There's even the way that bodies work before, during, and after pregnancy it's wildly different than any lived experience we might have. And in some ways, that does position someone to be more focused on organizing for safety, for keeping the living space. And some of us are flashing to like huts and like caves or something like that. I know I am. And like the classic dichotomy is, somebody goes out and fights the saber-toothed tiger and hunts the woolly mammoth. Somebody picks the berries and makes sure the kids are safe, right? And that's wildly, overly stereotyping. But I think it's mostly social at this point, because in environments where there is no one who has a uterus, right, or has a primarily estrogen-driven endocrine system, and so it is hard to debate nature versus nurture. But I think at this point it is very much nurture. I think we've created an environment where this is just how it works, and it's interesting that it's notable that Jordan gets up and does these things.
Yeah, it's
right. Like, that's a pretty low bar. Like, let's just own it. Like, that's not that as a low bar, but like what we're talking about is it's wild.
I get it. No, and that's like we're having this conversation. I'm going, oh my gosh, we are going to get ripped apart. But it's. I think this is us recognizing that we have a lot of work to do. And again, it doesn't mean we're bad. It doesn't mean we're not good husbands. It doesn't mean we're not good fathers. But it just means that, like, somehow our wives are unbelievable. I look at Jen, and I count my, like, I can't tell you how many times, I don't know why, in the last week, I've texted her like, I miss you, I love you. I've been away from her, and so I really appreciate, especially when I'm away, just how great of a partner she is. So it's it's in our situation, there's zero chance our family would be half as functional if it wasn't for the way she does it with Grace. It's pretty remarkable, and especially being a mother to Lucas and Jack, she's taught me more than anybody.
It does bring up an interesting point about how there's a sort of gravity here where unintervened, the system will likely skew towards our wives doing so much that it'll just get to a breaking point, right? And that's a hard thing to know and to talk about.
Have you been there?
I think so, yeah. I think during these games.
I was there recently.
Yeah, and you have to stop and say, you build in checkpoints, and you build in stress measurement and say, hey, first of all, what is the work? Like you do a time study, which in corporate terms would be, how long does it take to do X task and what are the total task loads? And then basically doing some sort of a Kaizen or something and saying, like, how do we get better at all this stuff? And I'm not saying you should like run your life like a corporate board per se, but there's some knowledge there to be gained, because then you can understand what really is being done. And you can see, like, on actual math on a spreadsheet, I'm doing 12% of the household work, right? And that's okay in some settings, like if you're traveling for work, but just knowing and then asking where that is relative to where you want to be is so big. But I would say, yeah. Jordan, you turns out you've traveled before. I think maybe once or twice. Have you ever found that breaking point?
Yeah, and I think this is relevant because I think a lot of relationships, at least one person in the relationship will travel for work in the United States. And so I know the three of us do a lot. We all travel. And it's always really tough because on one hand, it is for work. So it's how we're providing for the family. But on the other hand, you know, we're leaving all of the work now to our wives.
100%.
And it's a really tough spot to be in because we want to be there to help and provide. And so, yeah, it's definitely happened. And I am curious if you guys have input on, you know, how to manage the situations of traveling and how to help maybe before you leave for a trip, if there's certain things you do, or, you know, how you support during, after.
I'll answer it in a different way. Jen also travels. So Jen earlier this year was gone for maybe 15 out of 20 days in a row. And one was international, so different time zone. And so I was managing the house, and it was awesome. And it was frantic. And like the house was a mess at the end of the night, but I cleaned it up. It just allowed me to carry it all and to see it. So first, like you want to talk about the kind of the SWOT analysis or the Kaizen analysis of what's going on. Throw yourself in there. And so I did it, and like I love it because one, it gives Jen, yeah, she's working, but it gives her a break. She gets to go to the hotel and, you know, have her dinner at night, wake up when she needs to, and not worry about the kids. And it gives me an opportunity to kind of go, let me be super dad and do everything and feel what she's carrying. And I'm sure I'm missing so many things. And we figure it out. And like, it's like if she comes home and I can go, gosh, yeah, Lucas didn't miss one medicine, or I only forgot Jack's snack at school once. And Jack usually catches me before because he's pretty self-sufficient. But those are the moments that has helped me see what I need to do.
I remember this trip that Jen went on. We had a phone call, and I was like, I need to check on Jeff, make sure he's doing okay. But I'm sure you did knock it out of the park. But I was like, he seems a little stressed.
Oh, yeah, of course, no. But it's like you stress. It's like, oh my gosh, like
You stress.
I go to, like, I fall asleep like at 9:15, like
Yes.
out of it. Like it feels like I was a kid again doing 2 days for football. Like just that energy I've spent it all my mental energy.
Concentrated purpose, right? Like
Yeah.
you add water to what you get, especially when your kids are involved. Like so much purpose. It might be worth acknowledging too. You know, we're skewing into like how we feel about this, and if we bring it back around to like the people we're talking about and recognizing like the amazing humans that these people are, and were before any of our business got involved, by the way. Maybe we can share some stories, and I'll share one here. So Kelly, as Jeff mentioned, pediatrician, and now practices palliative care, and this is end of life care, and that's hard, and that means carrying not just our family's emotional load, but also like that of a panel of patients that are categorically dying. And it is unbelievable. I never even imagined empathy and humanity and a love for people that exists in someone like what I've seen in Kelly. And it's something that if we could give just 1% of that to the whole world, we would live in a foundationally different environment. Wow. Because we would be looking out for each other. We would care about every second, especially when there aren't that many seconds left in someone's world. And it's something that it blows me away every single day, how much she cares about her patients and the way that she goes about making their lives better.
And with that, it's not just her patients, it's their families. You know, so there's so many people she's responsible for this. You know, I mean, birth is an amazing experience, and death is equally as amazing, but it's painful. I mean, it is we all do it. We all go through it eventually, and it can be beautiful. And I'm sure it's just got to be a lot of responsibility to be able to carry that, not just for the patient, but for their loved ones who are their parents. saying goodbye to a child is probably one of the hardest things in the world to do.
Sometimes I imagine like her locus of concern, and it's certainly our own family. But then there's, to your point, Jeff, there's the patient and then their parents. And it's almost like this prism of like light that spreads out, and it encompasses hundreds of people through just one point.
Of their biggest, most impactful moment of their life.
Yep. I'll say in this case, we are probably all going to die at some point. And while that is currently representing 100% of the population, a very small percentage will have the opportunity to do so with dignity and care and intention. And the better we get, I think, as a society, and this is where if we could just clone Kelly a few thousand times, we'd be really well positioned, because it gives you the ability to navigate that last chapter with less pain, with more of a focus and clarity on the time that you do have. And that's true whether somebody has recently learned that they have a month, a year, 2 to 5 years. Some diagnoses, largely cancer, are terminal, but they're not immediate term. But once you hear that news, your life is different. And that now it is not, oh, maybe one day. It's one day soon. But what's so true, and I'll jump off my soapbox here in a moment, is that this is a topic, death, that we in the United States are not comfortable with. We do not talk about it. We fear it. It's the opposite of the youth that we all chase with our money, with our time. And it is unbelievably empowering to see what it can look like to have an open conversation and to really acknowledge this. And it is something that I had never imagined the level of emotional capacity of just true, honestly, brilliance that it takes to navigate that. And Kelly is singular in that. And every time I see it, it makes me love her so much more, because she has so much love for people that she may never even meet, but for whom she is a transformational entity. It's really, really incredible.
She's impacted a lot of people. That's really amazing.
Jordan, I often wonder, like, what an awesome experience it must be to be on this adventure. Like Chloe, right, with you. What is your favorite moment that you've had in your world schooling or you're traveling? I love your story about when she was the one that said, like, no, you're not happy. Like, what other stories like resonate in your mind?
Yeah, I mean, obviously she's the main driver behind everything. Like the story that you're referring to is she's the one that recognized in me that I wasn't myself and I wasn't happy, and really encouraged me to take a deep look inside and figure out what I really wanted out of life, which led to us traveling, starting a business, and ultimately where we are now. And so that's all thanks to her. That's all props to her. Like, would I have come to that on my own? I don't know. Maybe it would have taken a lot longer. And but the one thing I really respect, one of the things I really respect and love about Chloe is she's an unofficial therapist to so many people. And to her, relationships are one of the most important things. And so she is on the phone all day long, every day with people, just listening. She's the person that everyone will offload all of their, problems or what they're going through to her. And she listens and she helps, and she is phenomenal at just being there for people. And I had to take a step back because, there were times of that for me where I was like, honey, like, why are you on the phone so much? Like, we have to do this. We have to do this. And I just had to take a step back and realize, like, she is helping so many people and this is what she loves to do. And so I had to check myself and be like, man, that is such a selfish thing to think. But she truly cherishes relationships and people, and she's so incredibly good at nourishing those relationships. And it's something I really look up to and respect, and trying to do better myself.
Sounds like she's a good friend.
Yeah.
Which is like, we are born into our family, but to be a good friend, like to have a good friend, like one true friend in your life, man, you've made it. So it sounds like she's got a lot of people consider that her to be that one.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's cool.
That's an interesting topic, Jeff. It's because it's true if you think about it. Like, we're born into our families. We have our parents, and maybe we love them, but we didn't choose them, right? We didn't choose our brothers or our sisters, and even our coworkers, like many of the people in our lives we didn't choose, but our partners are the one person, even our kids. Like we probably wanted to have our kids, but we didn't design them. We didn't say like, I'll take that one. Unless we adopted, of course. But our wives, our partners are probably the only person in our lives that we've really said, I'm opting to commit to this person among a field of other options. And that is pretty meaningful.
Interesting perspective to look at it. That's true. They're the only person that we choose.
Yeah. And so great when it's your best friend.
Yeah. Wow. It's deep.
With Jen, like it's interesting because we've grown together. You know, we've been together for 15 years, and we both have grown tremendously. And it's one of these things where, like, when you get into a relationship and you commit to each other, it's like you're kind of rolling the dice, especially if you come from a growth mindset. And if you want to grow, it's like, are we going to grow the same way together? And it's been beautiful where Jen was kind of a latchkey kid. You know, she was making her own dinner at the age of 6 and just always just tough and always figuring stuff out. And I had 4 older sisters. So I had stuff get done for me because I didn't see it. So like her and I have had to lean into each other. She's had to kind of release a little bit of control to allow me to see stuff for those 10 minutes while she sees it. And for her to kind of go, I'm gonna sit back and let him do it. And I need to become more responsible. And at the same time, there's times where I was late to grow up in some areas. You know, I've talked about, you know, I've been sober for 10 years, and I remember the moment when, like, I had my last drink, and she just gave me some beautiful, tough love. You know, and I believe that maximum growth comes at the support or the pinnacle of support and challenge. Like, it's not just, hey, it's okay. It's also a poke in the chest to say, you gotta step up. And I think Jen has this way to communicate genuine care very directly. And it's not just with me, it's with her friends, it's with her coworkers. Like, she's just so well respected in her groups because she's going to tell you how it is, but she's going to care about you. And as a partner, it's like, I couldn't ask for a better partner. Like, you know where you stand. I know she's got my back, and I also know she's going to call out my bullshit. And, you know, one of the times that really, you know, we kind of started a family pretty quickly. So we dated for 3 years, were engaged for a year, got married, and then a year later, we welcomed our first. And when she was pregnant, like, this is when I realized just how much of a badass mom she'd be. She took being pregnant so seriously, you know, ate so well, slept so well, then had a natural birth. You know, she's like, I don't want to have any drugs inside for him. And by the way, we didn't know what it was. And this is what's great. So this is the way the first ways that she really loved me is she likes to know everything that's going on. And I'm like, hey, my grandma like always said, you know, don't find out what you're going to have. My grandma passed away in 2003. And so the only thing I really asked Jen, I said, let's have a surprise. And it took everything in her to not find out.
Oh, man.
And so I thought we were having a girl. She thought we were having a boy. We welcomed our oldest, Jack, and never missed a pump, never missed a feed, ate so well, like just was uberly committed. And she probably wanted to kill me because I'm sleeping while she's up at 4 a.m. in the morning pumping. We've all heard that.
So true.
And you talk about carrying the mental load. If you have infants or a newborn, wow, like dark days, but you got to step up.
Yeah.
But anyway, to see how committed she was to making sure that our kids were cared for from even months before they were born, I realized I married an all-star. You know, someone who's just committed in service to others. And even to this day, like since my life got turned upside down, I'm traveling more and I have this weird schedule, and she's so supportive, and it's, I lucked into this one. I got super, super lucky, and I didn't really fully understand what marriage was until my oldest was 6 months old, until I got sober. And somehow she loved me through all these bumps. And I thank her every day for it.
Yeah, that's true. The fact that we all met on season 1 of the Beast Games means that we have partners that made it possible for us to go do this crazy thing. Like, no one knew what this was, right? I'm going to go do this show. I guess I might be gone for a while. Some of us were gone for less time than others. But they signed on for that, right? Like they said, yeah, whatever this is.
And here's the tough love. I've told this before, but I'll tell it again. I'm walking out the door. I have my suitcase, and I say, hey, like, I'm going to go tell Lucas this story. And she literally said, F that. You better go. If you're going to be gone this long, you better win this thing. And that's Jen. And she meant it. It wasn't like, it wasn't like, I'm just kidding. Go have fun. It was, no, if you're leaving here, you better bring home, that saber-tooth tiger.
Yeah. Now I want to know what would have happened if you came back empty-handed.
I obviously wouldn't be here right now. I don't know.
She'd kick you out for a little while.
Oh my gosh.
He would be the tiger pelt.
No, it's, but I think that motivation certainly helped.
Man.
You said something interesting there, Jeff, that you feel like she's done a really good job of growing together with you. In marriage, in any relationship, you're not the same people the day one, when you get married, and then, a year later, 5 years later, 10 years later, you change so much as individuals, and you have to learn to adapt with your spouse. And it's not something that's easy to do. And so that's something that I always tell people to look for, when they're dating in a spouse, somebody who's really flexible, right? And just loves you for who you are, because you're both going to change a lot over time. Totally.
It's obviously a risk, because you are committing to loving them through that change. But it's also a game of, I don't want to say potential, but like, is this someone who you could see being an amazing grandmother to your kids' kids? Is this someone you'd want to travel the world with, to go on a river cruise when you're 80? By the way, I want to go on a river cruise now. Have you been on one of these?
Yeah, it's fun.
Oh my gosh.
Oh, like the Viking ones?
Yes, like through like European cities like that. Like that's like that's how I want to see. But these are the things that I never thought about, and I don't know why, and I just got lucky. And so so Jen and I, we both are growing, and we both are loving who each have grown into.
Well, you are a very lucky man, because you got that, and you won Beast Games.
Yeah, so. Not bad.
That concept of growth is such an interesting meditation, Jordan. I'm so glad you bring that up, because how you manage to grow together, and turns out not all marriages work, because more than half of the time, that turns out to not be the case. And I think it's possible that question of how do we grow together, where do you start, and how are you sort of charting those stars? There's certainly questions that can be asked. Like, I'm thinking about what Claude skill we debut with this right here. And in the mind strays right to like, hey, here's maybe a Claude skill that can help with household organization, maybe like a free version of Lindy, something like that.
I think it's the questions to ask. The right questions to ask at different stages of relationship, dating, engaged, to really get to know your spouse. I think that'd be cool. I would love to know that even now. I would love to have different questions to ask, because again, you're not the same people as when you got married. And so part of being a good spouse is, continuing to learn about your partner and grow with them. And, so I think that'd be a cool skill.
One thing that I'd say has been one of the most differentiating things that we've done that might be somewhat unique is and we're due for one right now, is a quarterly sit down to look at finances, to look at time, to look at priorities and to say, what are we trying to achieve on our 6, 12, 24-month horizon? And are we realistically doing that? And what's funny is when I first thought about this, and it feels very corporate, right? It's like, are we doing performance reviews? Like, did I get a raise? Like, what's happening right now?
Are you on a developmental plan?
Yeah, my wife put me on a PIP. Woof. But it's unbelievably helpful because sometimes you wonder, like, are we going in the right direction? Am I the partner that my wife needs right now?
Yeah.
Am I communicating what's really going on in my head? Or is the business of everyday life so chaotic that I feel like I just can't do that? That's probably the case. And I think that by putting something on the calendar and saying on this day, we've got a nanny, we've got a babysitter, we are going to go to a WeWork or to a Airbnb or whatever. And this is not date night. This is not like the romance. This is something that I think more important.
This is an offsite.
This is doing life. This is an offsite where we do life. That's right. I love that. This is certainly team building. But it's so helpful because you get to feel like we just went to a waypoint and we asked, based upon our values, we've talked a lot about values work. Based upon our values, are we moving in the direction that we want to move in? And if the answer is no, this is where we sit down and we have the bandwidth to strategically pivot, to feel like, okay, we're back on the right course here.
Yeah.
We're going in the right direction and we get to grow together.
And like, we've already had these conversations. Like, going to Costco with Jen is our date. Like, we have fun. So it would be great to have 6 hours or however long it takes to do this in the morning, have a nice little lunch, kind of put a bow on it in the afternoon and kind of go, this is where we're going for the next 180 days. But I have to plan it. Like, I can't say, hey, honey, we're doing this. And here's another thing on your mental load. Gosh. Okay. We'll get it done.
This is going back to AI for a moment. Jeff mentioned Lindy. There's a number of really cool services out there right now. And you can use, if somebody wanted to go and learn Claude, let's say someone's taking some of our advice here and they're going to go and get some of these certifications. This is actually a really elegant first option to start building because the use case is immediate. And you can, in a space, literally just go in Claude right now and just say, here's what I want to do. I want to create a way for my wife and I to be able to speak into a database and for it to organize our work. That's it. There's your whole prompt. And it'll take you from there, but it'll pretty quickly guide you toward where you can manually with simply in notes or whatever, but Claude will be able to reference that and look and say, even just top of the mind, like stream of consciousness, like, hey, I had a really hard time packing lunches this week, and I think it's because we aren't going to the store on the right day. That stuff is something that we and likely our wives think about constantly. And if you start to capture that, you can actually start to objectively change. Because I think we take some of this as sunk costs. Like, oh, it's just always going to be hard to get to Costco. It's just always going to be difficult to pack the lunches. Well, what if that pattern recognition tool that's so powerful now stops and goes, well, it looks like you're cooking on Sundays, right? Like, why not meal prep? Whoa, okay, hold on. Like, that could change this whole schedule and possibly unlock a tremendous amount of mental load and remove some of that invisible work.
All right, I've got a hack for this meeting.
Oh.
For the performance review or just a couple's getaway. All right, so we did our credit card episode recently. We talked a lot about credit cards, points, how to redeem them. If you have an Amex Platinum or Chase Sapphire Reserve or a couple of other cards, they have hotel credits on them, right? Twice a year, you get $300 towards nicer hotels. So one thing I do for Chloe every year, every December, or for Mother's Day, I get her a stay at a hotel because that's what she wants. She wants to just, be able to relax, watch movies in bed, order room service, and not have to think about anything, take off the mental load. So that's one of the credits right there I use for her. Second one, I haven't done this, but it'd be a perfect performance review credit where you book a 2-night hotel stay, use the $300 from the credit card, and go and have that meeting there.
I might not call it the performance review. just gonna put that out there. You might be inviting feedback.
Yeah, that could get ugly quick.
Hey, or it could be some interesting role play.
Oh, yeah. Oh, how did I do this quarter?
Hey, editor's note. Maybe cut that.
Dad Squad After Dark.
Hey, that's your Cinemax right there.
Oh my gosh, that's our scrambled Cinemax.
Oh man.
With like,
Let's take out the performance review language for sure.
Oh, but I do think that's a great idea.
Great idea, terribly worded.
with like basically no blurry nipples at all. Like hopefully there's like zero.
But yeah, using the credit card benefits.
Yep.
Yeah,
Gotta use them.
there it is. Man, how did we get there from points? I don't know how we. Punchy. Well, though, this does seem like a perfect point for us to transition into Hot Dads.
Hot takes.
All right, I'm going to drop my hot take first. This is a blended one. This is a twofer. And this goes back to our 90s episode when we were talking about analog and a little bit of communication tip as well, going to our communication tips episode as well. And it's all about writing cards. Yes, did I snake yours?
Son of a gun.
Oh, we didn't plan that. We didn't plan it. So I'm just going to say this for both of us, I guess. But writing a card, a handwritten card, and yes, our handwriting is probably horrible. Mine is embarrassingly bad. But taking time to procure a card, to write a card, and here's the important part. It always blows my mind when somebody gives me a card and it's like a birthday card and it just says happy birthday and then the name is signed. All this white space. That for me is like, look at all this not you caring that is here. Never a naked thank you is a communication tip that has resonated in my mind for decades now. And I think it comes from how to win friends and influence people. But never a naked thank you means don't ever just say thank you to somebody and drop it, because it's a general positive that is essentially a nothing statement. Instead, it's not thank you, Kelly. Dear Kelly, thank you, John. Not great. It's Kelly, thank you so much for doing the things that I never see and may never know that make our life possible. Without you doing these things, there's no way that the adventure that we're on together could be. And Lexi wouldn't be as happy, none of us would be as healthy, and the world wouldn't be as good without the work that you do. That's a far from naked thank you.
Beautifully said.
So write a card. Hot dad, hot take. Write a card, do it with intention.
I love it. This is not my hot take, but I'm going to add on because you stole mine or you borrowed it. I keep my cards. Like I still have cards that Jen has sent me over the years, and I'll read them. And these are not naked thank yous. These are not naked birthdays. We had a couple of those, but not naked birthday cards.
Different.
Yeah,
We got to get after. That's what After Dark has got to happen now.
But it's all. One thing I would add, especially as Lexi gets older, procuring cards from her. Because I'll have Jack write cards to Jen, and those are, hey, what do you want to tell her? Like I don't. When you're younger, I kind of prescribe it, but as he gets older, it's what he wants to say. And I think those are super meaningful. So my hot take is I'm going to share it in just a second after Jordan shares his.
Fair enough.
All right.
Mine shouldn't be a hot take. This should be the bare minimum.
Oh.
We should be taking our wives on a date every single week. We do all of the planning. They shouldn't have to think about a thing, and we should be present the entire time. There's no work calls. There's no texting. There's prepared. You have questions prepared from Claude, from our AI tool here that we're going to build.
Do you have an earpiece in? They're talking to you?
But we should be getting to know our wives. We should be asking questions that, we've all changed over time, and we should be constantly learning more about who our spouse is as a person and vice versa. And, we should plan the babysitter. We should plan the date, the dinner, everything we're doing. And it should be happening once a week.
was a very hot take.
Yeah, Jen, if you're listening to this, I promise I'll start listening to Jordan. Yeah, and I on that note, it's our life's a little different to do. We Jen and I hardly do dates because our life doesn't allow. But I think in lives like ours, and this is a hot take, especially for special needs parents, is find those moments to get out and connect and make the effort. I know life's hard and everybody's life's busy, but especially for ones where you're always caring about your kids because they need you, like Lucas, is you got to find those moments. And for us, again, we talk about Costco. I know it sounds jokey. We go to dates at Costco. It's awesome. If we can go to lunch, if we can go to dinner, but it doesn't have to be a date per se. For us, it just has to be moments that are dedicated to each other, whether it's a date or whether it's a performance review.
Performance review. Oh no.
I carve out the time because at the end of the day, our kiddos, like Lucas needs us, but Jack is watching us. Jack is seeing how we love each other, how we connect. You know, I have some friends who never saw their parents hold hands.
Oh man.
You know, and that stuff sticks with you. You might not think it, but so whatever you have going on in your life, especially rare disease, special needs kids, find those moments, even if it's for an hour a week, to truly connect and make it your date. If that just means you're sitting on the porch having coffee, do it. And if you can upgrade to Jordans, do that too.
To clarify, yes, going out and doing a big date with dinner is great. But as you mentioned, you know, watching a movie on the couch after you put the kids to bed, that's a date night.
Yeah.
Right? Sitting out on the porch, you know, going and playing tennis, whatever it is, that qualifies. Just doing something intentionally that's planned by us. And, you know, we're also taking the time to ask questions and get to know our spouse better. And I think that's perfect.
And maybe buy some flowers
Yes.
here and there
With a handwritten card.
with a handwritten card, which is Jeff's idea. Well, that's our episode, guys. Thank you for sharing your stories. And I hope that our wives hear this and hear just how much we appreciate.
And thank you to all the wives out there for everything you do.
Seriously.
Thank you for making all of this possible. Dad Squadcast brought to you by Chloe, Jen, and Kelly. See y'all in the next episode.